Welcome back to Bushbound. My name is Ethan and today we're going to be doing a rig rundown on my 2012 Isuzu D-Max. Okay, as I said before, we're going to be doing a rig rundown on my 2012 Isuzu D-Max. I bought this ute almost absolutely stock and I've done most of these mods that you can see on the ute so far. Now, why did I pick a D-Max in the first place? Well, firstly, they have a very reliable engine, the 4JJ1 engine, but secondly, they've got a much lower price tag compared to a Hilux or anything else that is reliable on the market. D-Maxes are becoming more and more popular every single year, and I'm really glad I picked this one up with 120,000 Ks on the clock. Since then, I've almost done 40,000 Ks, so let's see how we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the exterior mods. First off is this Bullbar. This is an ARB Bullbar. I got a second hand for a really good deal, and it just looks way better, and the main reason I got it is that it's winch compatible, even though I haven't bought a winch just yet. Now, while we're up the front here, I've got some 9-inch dune spotties, which absolutely flood the road at night, which is exactly what you want. As you can see, I have hit a roo recently. No damage to the bull bar or the car whatsoever, just my number plate, which took a bit of a beating. I've got 2 UHF antennas. One is only connected. The second one, A, is for looks, but B also has a lead running to my UHF. For my smaller DBI, when I'm traveling in the hills or high country, I can easily connect this UHF instead of this one. But yeah, very soon I do have plans to put a winch in. Let me know down in the comments if you've got any suggestions on which winch I should get. So yeah, stay tuned for that, subscribe, and that video will be coming very soon. Okay, so two of the biggest mods, arguably, you could say, on a full drive is a 2-inch lift and some nice big wheels and tyres. Last year in November, I installed a 2-inch Petters lift kit with my mate, and it's been a game changer since I've installed it. So on the rear, I've got a 300 kilo constant load leaf spring. I do have a lot of weight in the rear though, so I'm thinking about putting some airbags in to take some of that pressure off of my leaf springs so that then I don't see any sag over time. A couple months ago, I picked up a set of steelies and muddies off Marketplace for a ripper deal. They are 31.5-inch muddies on a 17-inch steely rim. Because they're off Marketplace, they didn't have 100% tread on them. So I will be upgrading these tyres sometime this year to probably a 32.5-inch tyre, which just gives me a bit extra size and traction as well when I deflate my tyres. Just for reference, these steelies are a POS 30 offset if you're running a D-Max with a 2-inch lift. No dramas at all with this so far. Obviously, it's not a massive tyre, but it's just good to know as well. So one of the mods that was already on the car was a snorkel. Really glad because I probably wouldn't have put one on just yet, but it's not something you have to think about when doing water crossings or anything. I'm yet to do anything super deep through water in this car, but I'm not too stressed about it because I've already got the snorkel. Alright, so the tray and canopy. So I bought this ute with just a stock tray on it, purchased this 1800 long full box canopy for the rear of it then as well. I did go into the draw to win a year's supply of beer, which I did win after making a short ad using the beer brand and the toolbox brand. To go with that, I then bought a set of tapered under tray toolboxes, which just completed the look of the tray and canopy. And for something which is fully customizable, I think it looks pretty sick. Now on the rear of the canopy, I've got a few different things that I've mounted. I have some Maxtrax mounts, which I don't really use anymore. They end up living on the roof, but they're still there. I have a bin bag. I've got a jerry holder, which doubles as a water holder when I'm actually on site. And then in terms of other things that I've done to the rear of this car, the back has had quite a lot of attention. First, I swapped out the custom tail lights with some nice LED ones. They look way better. They were pretty difficult to install. However, I'm super glad that I did that. And secondly, I built this panel on the back to cover up that empty space, which you can often see under the tray. However, I filled it with some drawer runners. Oh, she's a bit dirty, to make a nice bench, which I've also built, and that was custom made. As you can tell, it gets all of the dirt and the dust. However, when I get to site, I wipe it down. It is actually a game changer. You can never have too much bench space at your campsite. On top of this, I mounted some Ridge Rider spotties that are connected to my reversing lights. So whenever I chuck it in reverse at night, I just light up the street or wherever I am. Also on the back here, I have a hardcore light. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's got 3 different modes. Great for just lighting up the back of this space when I'm at camp. Okay, so moving to the roof of the car, I installed these ProRack bars for above the cab. These are just a temporary solution before I one day get a flatbed. However, they serve the purpose that they need to for now, mounting lights, light bars, shovels, max tracks, whatever else I need. And on the rear of my canopy, it comes with 3 bars welded onto the canopy. And with that, I've mounted a 270 awning, which is absolutely killer. And because I've got a leaky rooftop tent, the rooftop tent lives on the back of that in summertime as well when it's not going to rain. And on this side, I've got the ProRack shovel mounts with a nice shovel, and as you can see here, I've also mounted some dune side lights. I'm in the process of swapping out these lenses for some yellow lenses. They have been a little bit too bright to chuck on at campsites, so swapping them out for this yellow lens makes it much more comfortable, and it also deters bugs a lot more. I'm sure there'll be a video coming up about this soon and how I've done it, so stay tuned for that. Alright, now working to the inside of the car. There's also quite a few things that I've done in here, so let's get into it. So this is a manual model. I love driving stick. It just gives you much more control over your full driving and also gives you a bit more of a challenge. Now, one of the first things that actually went wrong in the D-Max was the head unit threw up a code which the old owner only knew, and we couldn't get a hold of him. So I was forced to swap out the head unit, and I always wanted Apple CarPlay. I bought this Sony 7-inch Apple CarPlay unit, and it is so good. As you can see here, I've mounted my UHF just to the left side of the steering wheel. It's mounted under the steering wheel here, works really well, out of the way, and it's pretty neat and tidy too. I bought a nice dash mat from Super Cheap Auto. This thing just really keeps the dust off of your dash, and it also protects your dash from sun and any damage like that. But I also purchased a set of these Ridge Rider canvas car seat covers for the front and for the rear too. Okay, so the canopy is probably where the most of my time and energy has been spent. I obviously bought this canopy new, and so it had a bare shell with nothing on the inside. Now, I'm a tradie who carries tools, and I needed to find a setup that would hold my tools during the week, be quickly removed when it came to the weekend so I could get out camping. I spent a lot of time trying to work out multiple purposes for 2 different things. I think I've got a pretty decent setup to show for it. By no means do I have slide out kitchens and all this fancy stuff, but also those guys that have that, they have their canopy purely for camping and full driving. Okay, so to start, I'm going to talk about my 12-volt setup. This is a fully custom 12-volt setup. I love doing 12-volt wiring, so I'll run you through what I've got. You can't see a lot of it, but I've got a dune panel here with all my switches, Anderson plugs, cigarette lighters, and I've even cut out a hole for a Renogy display so that you can see your battery levels, battery health, how long your battery has, and a few other things like that as well. I have a 100 amp slimline lithium battery just seated behind this fridge here in the back there, and that's wired up to a 50 amp DC-DC charge, which charges my battery super quick when I'm driving. Then I've wired up one of these Anderson plugs to a solar panel or a solar blanket. When I get a hard shell rooftop tent down the track, I'll probably hardwire it into that. All right, now lights, let's get into that. My missus always rolls her eyes when I say, I've got some more lights to install, but I just love it. You can never have too many lights. So I've wired in these TJM strip lights which sit here on my door, and there's also one shining back into the cab there. These have white, blue and yellow modes, which are great as well. As I said before, I've got this light on the back which I've wired into a little switch here, and then these 2 lights that sit on my roof rack on both sides as well. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got this fridge slide here which holds my fridge, which has only recently been upgraded to an upright fridge. We had a chest fridge before this, and it was great, but it was really hard to see into the top. I wasn't going to spend the big bucks and get a drop down fridge slide. So we've gone for the upright Adventure Kings 85 litre fridge. But we do have the privilege to slide this out and then open this up as well. And it just really opens up that space if you need to. Okay, so these 3 drawers here, they currently hold tools, but when I'm camping, they hold kitchen utensils, dry foods, recovery gear, etc. And they just swap out like that. I've got bags that everything sits in, so it makes it really quick and really easy. This also doubles as another great slide out bench for when you need it. Gas cooker, whatever can sit up there. It's really great. Obviously, I've got plenty of space for stickers because, you know, when you travel in Australia, that's just what you do. All right, guys, that is my 2025 Isuzu D-Max rig rundown. Let me know what you enjoyed about the video down in the comments below. Let me know also any other mods you think I should do in the next year. Still lots that I would love to do to the D-Max, but it is already super capable and I love just getting out and going bush. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. There's heaps more content like this that we upload super regularly and it would really help us out.